question is where the data gets stored. So we import the data using get data icon, fine. So where the data gets stored. Whatever the data that you imported here, right? So the data are being stored in your Power BI file itself, .pbx file. So this is the file, okay? .pbx file. The file extension is .pbx. The data is copied to the report itself. Right, so okay, this is one of the interview questions they'll ask you. Next one is, what is the difference between import and direct mode? So import is pretty simple. When you import the data will get stored locally in your system. The direct mode, the data is not going to store in your local system. Instead, your query or the visual will query your data remotely. Let's say you have a data in your SQL server and you are plotting a chart in your report view. For that chart, you are populating the value from your table data. Okay, table columns you are plotting the data. In that case, the visual will query your source system table columns. Okay. So the difference is in the case of import is the default mode because it is not it is most frequently used. Import is the most frequently used because if you import the data locally into your system, the performance will be faster. Anything which is local, it will be faster. Okay, and also when it comes to direct query mode, right? So we use the query, right? The Power BI will use the query to retrieve data from a pre-existing data source. Maybe it's a SQL server, pre-existing data source, or it will be a database, or it will be Power BI data sets, something like that. Okay, Power BI data sets is a live connection. So the difference between import and direct is import is available locally, direct is not creating any copy in your local system. There will be some kind of the hybrid. Okay, the hybrid of both import and direct query mode. For example, you have imported a CSV file or Excel file into Power BI. Along with that, you are connecting to SQL server table. Okay, so when you connect to the SQL server using the direct mode, and also when you import the CSV file using import mode, in that case you have the combination of both import as well as the direct mode. So that is called composite mode. Okay, and which connectivity mode is faster, direct query or live connection? Which one is faster? I did not specify import here. Live is faster than direct query. Okay, and whereas the import is faster than your live connection. But on a case to case basis, it will vary. When it comes to huge volume of data, compared to import, direct query is faster. Okay, and how about live connection compared to direct query and live connection? Even if it is a large data, see, live connection we can use it only for the SSAS, SQL Server Analytics Service, table or multi-dimensional cube. In that case, what will happen is the live connection is faster than your direct query. Okay, because it's a live connection. Not only SQL Server analytical services, you can establish a live connection, but also you can establish a live connection with Power BI datasets. I somehow forgot to inform this. Okay, live connection you can use it for Power BI datasets. I will show you Power BI datasets how to connect it, step by step. Probably in today's session or the next session we will show you. Okay, because we need to go in the proper flow. If I go here and there, you will not be able to understand, you will get confused. I will try to see if I can show it here, otherwise we will see it in the next session. So now what we will do is I just go to the I just open Power Query. Instead of using this one, I'm going to use Power BI desktop. I just click on this. till this opens, let us use this one itself. It takes some time. I'll just open the transform because I want to load the fresh data, and then I thought of showing it to you. Anyhow, not a problem. We'll proceed with this one. Okay, this one got open. Very good. I just load this data. Okay, the next one is I just quickly load this one. Very slow, it's hanging. Let me just check it here. I'm able to scroll here and there, but it is 1 second. First load all the files that are required for today's session, data files, and here expenses. So it just popped up the preview data preview window. I just click on load here. This is another file and one more small file. I don't want to load bigger files. If I load it will take longer time. Anyhow, we will work with the data and the files which have more number of data in it, so that we can do some kind of benchmarking also. The next one is not here, it is not there here. That one and all files. That's it. Okay, load. The first step is we load the necessary data. The next one is what we do is we go and explore the data. In order to explore the data, we can expand and see the column names, and if you go here, you can check the data that are there in this table. On each table, for example, if you want to see the data that are stored in this file, we can see it. And this file, you are already familiar with this. It will take some time to load it here. Let us see what happens here. This is just a simple data in it, and expenses. Okay, these are the table. So first take a look at the data, and then take a cursory look at this data. Okay, this data set have the text data type and the whole number, and then the binary data type. Okay, one second, I just go here, and now I just go to the Power Query editor, wherein we do data transformation. We'll continue with some more data transformations. Fine. So when you here, just let's explore some extent in this Power Query editor icons. Look here, we have something called recent sources. When I select it, these are the files that I used it recently, and new source is the one, right? So this one you are fine, you are already aware of this one. And the manage parameters, if I create any new parameter, we'll be using it. And the next one is refresh preview. Okay, refresh preview. Anyhow, all these things, when I do data transformation, if I explained, I think these are all the things we can explore it. So these are available as part of your home ribbon itself. When it comes to transform, we can see something like group by, use first row as headers. In our case, already the column headers are correctly detected by Power Query editor. Okay, and the next one is reverse rows, transpose rows, count rows. I'm going to click on count rows. It gives me the total number of records that are there in this data set. And if I select this one, and again if I go to transform, and if I click on this, it gives me the total number of records, 27. This is how you can find out the total. If you don't want it, you can click on the black colored X on the right side in the applied steps. I just okay, these are the. So when you notice this here, when I open the query editor, on the left side, whatever the tables, irrespective of the type of the file, so whether it's an Excel file or whether it's a CSV file, comma separated value file, or whether it's a database table, or whether it's some other file like XML, JSON, the type of the file can be anything. But once you load it into your Power BI desktop, it considers all of them as a table. So you can see the table icon here. Okay. Now, if I open a query editor, all these tables are considered as a queries in Power Query editor. Okay, irrespective of the file that you use it or the table that you use it, that will be considered as a queries in Power BI editor. Power Query editor. Okay, and here I am going to undo this. I don't want, right now I just checked how many number of records that I got it. So next what I do is I click on expenses, or I just click on this one because this has a list number of records. So by default, the first column got highlighted. The next one is I just go to view tab, view ribbon, and then I just select the column quality, click on the column quality. It tells me clearly how many number of values in a column. Column wise it tells us the blank values. Empty tells us the column wise blank values. In this column 50% of the values are empty. If you look here, how many number of records are there? Here we have 10 records. Look here on the left side, 1 to 10. 10 records are there. Of the 10 records, 5 records for this column are blank. Okay, that's what we see, 50% of the values in this column are blank. Similarly, when you look at this column, the same thing is applicable here. When you look at here, the empty is 40%. Out of the 10, 4 records, so 40%, 60% of the values in this column are non-blank, 40% of them are blank value. That is what we are able to understand. We get a quick insight about this one. And also if you keep the cursor, you can see same thing. And when you click on this ellipses, you will have this is called your context menu. In the context menu, you have a lot of options here. Keep duplicates, keep errors, remove duplicates, all these things you can see it here. Now what I do is I just enable the column profile. This is my column profile. I just want to do the column profiling here. So the count, look here, it is 10 it shows. And let me check, click on all the each and every column here. All these columns it shows 10 here. It is kind of a total number of records. And in this, all these columns we don't see 0. That is what we can see it here. Fine. The next one is empty 4. Whatever we have seen here, that is what it shows. Okay. And the distinct is 7 here. Okay, what do you mean by distinct? And we have something called unique. Distinct is 7 and unique is 6. So what does it shows here? Now let us look at this column. So in this, how many distinct values are there? So here it shows 7. Why? Distinct is also kind of the number of occurrences of the values, right? So sorry, unique number of occurrences, or we say the total number of different values regardless of how many times it appears in a data set. Okay, if you look here, so this is appearing only one time, 4812, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, but here it says 7. See, 1 2 3, excluding the non-blank value. Okay, 3 4 5 6. It takes into account of 0 also. Null also it is taking into account. Distinct takes into account the null also, but the number of null, if you look here, it repeats more than one time. The number of occurrence of the null is, though it is more than one, but it considers as a 1. Understood? That is what distinct. And unique is 6. What is unique here? So what is the difference between distinct and unique? So here in this case, in the case of unique, the total number of values that appear only once. So here the null is appearing more than one time. Hence it is disregarding that. That's it. So excluding null, we have 6 values, unique 6. So the difference between distinct and unique, hope you understood clearly. Okay. I repeat one more time. The distinct will helps us to find out the total number of different values, regardless of how many times it appears in the data set. Whereas in the case of unique, right, it helps us to identify the total number of values that appears only once. Okay. Now let us analyze this one. When it's not this one, let us look at this one. Okay. So this is actually, it shows the count is 10, error is 0, distinct is 4, unique is 2. Distinct is 4 and unique is, distinct will take into account of the blank values also. So true, false 2 and NA is 3, and blank values including blank 4 values are there. Unique is 2. So which one is unique here? False and NA. Since true repeated more than once, it can Power BI considers as a non-unique value. See, in simple RDBMS, in the RDBMS, we need to have only one unique value in the case of primary key column. So in this case, non-unique value, true is non-unique value, the false, NA and blank. So even in the case of unique, it takes into account of not null value, false and NA. These two are unique. And here null is there, but it is ignoring it or not. That we will validate with this one. Total number of records 10 here. So the count is number of records. We don't have to worry about. Distinct is 7 here. So what do you mean by distinct here? Distinct will take into account of the blank value also. Here let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct. And unique is 6. So we need to exclude Baron here. Baron is non-unique, and so excluding him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even in the case of unique, it takes into account of null value here, because when it comes to unique, the typical RDBMS unique constraint, it allows only one null value, right? So the same thing is applicable here. So 7 distinct values are there, and unique is 6. Hope you understood how to interpret the profiling. All right. So the next one is, if you scroll down, unique is minimum for a string column. The minimum value is empty string, and maximum values, the alphabet, the W comes at the end, isn't it? So compared to these values, if you look at all these values, only the W is the last one in the alphabet compared to all the other person's name, right? So hence Bipul is the maximum. Similarly, let us look here. The minimum is here 0 and maximum is 15. This is how you need to interpret this one. And along with this, we can see the value distribution. If I select this one, you can understand. So when I selected this, with this chart, we should be able to understand very clearly the most frequently occurring value is true, because it's this bar size is so tall, right, compared to these two. False and NA, both of them are more or less same. When it comes to number of occurrences, the more number of occurrences is therefore true. Similarly, we will just select customer's name. Obviously, Baron, his name is occurring more than one time. Many times his name occurs, hence this bar is very high. With this, we should be able to understand. For example, we have state column. In the state column, when you select this, you will get to know which state. Let's say you have an order transaction data. In the order transaction data, you have a column called state. So in that column, by looking at that column, you can see which state, by looking at the state column's value itself, we can make out which state it occurs more than once. That means, that state we are selling more. Now let us look at this one, sales W04. Here we have something like sales column. State column. I think I had a state column. Yeah, it is their state. I just click on the state. So compared to all the other states, England, California and New York, the number of occurrences are more. With this itself, we can understand in which state the number of transactions are more, right? In which state the more transactions happen. So the least number of transactions happened, the Anhul and Punjab, Indiana. This gives us an idea about the frequency of occurrences, of each state in this transaction. So now you have got a fair amount of idea about interpreting the data profiling and column quality. These two are very much helpful. Again, you can enable column distribution. Instead of seeing the distribution, column value distribution individually here, each and every column, instead of seeing it here, you can get a holistic view if the distribution displays just beneath the column name. That is what it shows. Okay, so now let us look at the state. Yeah, this is kind of histogram. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, this is horizontal. This is a vertical chart. Ship mode. Okay, and here by looking at this, we should be able to understand that four distinct values are there in ship mode. 0 unique. Here itself shows 658 distinct values are there, and 419 unique values are there. Good. So with this, we get some amount of idea about this column. So as part of before we conduct any data exploration, right? First step, it is always good. Check the distribution and check any distinct values are there, right? So you can do the data profiling. With that itself, you should be able to understand, right? So where the sales is more, with the number of with the frequency of occurrence itself, we can tell. Okay, next what we will do is, I just I don't need this now. I'm going to disable this now. And whatever transactions or whatever the the transformation that you do it here, that will get recorded under this query settings pane. So under this query settings pane, you have something called properties and applied steps. Here you can go and rename. You can give some meaningful name to this thing. For example, here I say, yeah, let it be there. I don't. If you want to change it, we can change it with some meaningful name. The applied steps, whatever the data pre-processing here. Okay, this is the one I did it. Somehow I should have used the other one. So I'm going to convert the date data type. Only this one I'm going to do is, and the next one is the sales. I just select on decimal number. I will come back to this transformed or processed data little later. I just go and click on close and query. So here, whatever the steps that you see it, sometimes it may not be visible because you might have mistakenly clicked this one, or you would have used some other key here. So if you don't see the applied steps, don't worry. You just go to the view menu or ribbon and then click on this one, so it will appear here. Okay, it's kind of a toggle. Fine. So now I just go ahead and close and apply this one. Next, we will work on a use case. Few errors. I'm getting one contained errors. One second. What error is that? Okay, when we did some transformation, we did not do it properly. See, this is one issue is there. Look here. What could be the cause for that? I was about to start the use case, but while applying the changes, I just open it. Yes, getting some error. Queries metadata or load started. Let me just open this. Errors in sales W04. I just go and select view and column quality, and we don't see any error here. Let me just check. Look here in sales column, there are some error is there. I just removed the dollar sign just before this numeric value, and then I convert the decimal number, but there were some missing values were there, NA. I did not address that one. See what I do, that is the reason why I was getting error. You should be knowing this kind of troubleshooting. Replace errors. These are already missing values. I knew very well, and I am going to say 0. But if you watch my previous session video, we would have addressed that time. Look here. So these are the. You click on this to make sure that. Oh my God! So everything is error. Okay, that is there, and I just go here. This is errors in sales W04. Since I selected this one, it just shown me this error related data only. Alright, so here, one second, replaced value 0. I replace it by, oh, still it is there. Replaced value 1 in here, right? So, okay, let me do one thing. Replace is not required here. Delete. Look here we have NA is there. Replace errors by 0 here. Can you guess why I was getting the same thing here? So look here automatically, in case of any error, it keeps the error also for us to cross verify where we got the error. The table is empty now. Okay, the error table, because we addressed it, now it has gone. So now I just come here. Okay, everything is good. I just go ahead and apply this one. Now we address the error related thing. You need to replace the errors by 0 or replace the error with some values in your data set. Okay, that error will show you which column you had error in it. Okay, so you are not supposed to do it. You need to select this one and you need to do it. Okay, so next I just save this. I just save it as demo of so what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly open a folder here, more. So what we will do is today we'll connect to a folder. Okay, there is something called folder connector. Instead of importing the file directly, we will connect to a folder. So what I'm going to do is I'll do here. We have something called, if you select file, you can something called folder here. You just click on it here. It will ask you the folder path. If you give the folder path here, whatever the files that you stored in a specific folder, all the files will get picked up automatically. Okay, and then what you do is you can combine all the files. For example, I put 3 or 4 files under a folder name called ABC. In that folder ABC, I'm going to keep 3 files. What will happen is it will go and pick up all the files at one go. Okay, I'll just go ahead and create one separate folder here. monthly sales. Here's something called monthly sales, and I'm going to open another one. I have something called data folder. In the data folder, I was given 3 files. Data February, March, April. These 3 files were given to me. I just selected it and I just copy paste it in my newly created folder called monthly sales. Okay. Now I want to combine all these 3 files into a single file. In this case, I have only 3 files are there. Let's say you have a daily sales given to you in Excel file. At one point in time, they are asking you to combine, last 15 days daily sales, and then you show me the report. Okay. So for that purpose, what you do is you don't have to specify, you don't have to import each and every file. Look here, in this case, I have imported 3 different files in 3 different time. It took longer time also, right? So to loading one after another takes time. So what I do is I kept all the files in a separate folder, in a single folder. I just select this folder and click on OK. Look here, all the 3 files got picked up automatically. apr.csv, 3 files, 3 month files. Let's assume that each file is holding 3 month sales. It picked up everything. Content is binary. Okay, so the folder connection, consider these 3 files is a binary, though it is a comma separate value file. Date access, date modified, date created. So today only we have done everything just now. And attributes, it consider them as the record, and folder path. Folder path is this one. So when you go down here, you can see 4 buttons. When I click on combine, there's something called combine and transform data, combine and load. Simply combine all the 3 files and load it. Or what you do is combine all the 3 and then transform the data, transform and load the data. You have 2 different options are available. What I do is, I don't want to load these 3 files one after another. Instead, I don't want to use this option. I don't want to go by this. I simply hit this button, transform data. Fine, everything got loaded here, but we could not see the data here, right? So whatever we have seen it in the pop-up window, right? So the same thing we can see it here, date access, everything, folder path, the same thing we are seeing it here. But when you click on this one, binary, right, the first one will show you the first month data, the first file data. Okay, and if I don't want to see this, you can undo it by clicking on the cross button on the right side. Okay, now what I do is I just go back here. Let us see what happens when you click on this gear icon just next to the source. It shows the folder name only, not the file name. Whereas if you select the source step for this file, it will show you the path and the file name. Okay, but whereas it shows only the folder, because we have used the folder connection. When you click each and every binary thing here, you can see the corresponding files data. Fine, I don't want to do that now. I just click on this combine files icon. So you can see something double arrow here. When I click on this, what happens is, you want to insert a step. Yes. It opened up this one, sample file, first file, april.csv, February. See all these three files, you can see it here. What I do is I simply select this one and then delimiter based on first 200 rows. And if you enable this one, it will skip files with errors. This is very much helpful, especially when you combine the files that are having huge volume of the data, because the loading time takes a lot of time. For example, your business application owner, he wants to see a report in 4 hours time or 6 hours time, based on which he wants to make some decision quickly. Okay, in that case, if the load fails because of the error, you will not be able to create the report. But whatever the errors got rejected or skipped, right, you can track those the records which has error in it, and you can load it later. Supposing of this 1 million record, hardly 1000 records got rejected. Loading the rejected 1000 records will not take much time. We will not load the rejected records just like that. What we do is we fix the, or we'll identify the root cause for the errors for those 1000 records, and then we will fix it, and then we reload it. Just because 1000 records I have a problem with it, I don't want the entire load or the the consolidating these three files should not get disturbed. Okay, so what you can enable this one. So since we have less number of records, I'm not going to enable this one. I just click on OK. The key did not match any rows in the table, apr.csv. Okay, what I do is I just go and see the monthly sales apr.csv file, right? So I just delete this tag. Change the type. Okay, this is the data type, we changed it. Expanded table, column 1. Okay, what I do is I just select, this is for my this file. Okay, I am just looking at this one only. Okay, this is some kind of confusion. What I do is better, I'm doing on this only, right? Correct. Yeah, expand a table. See, all these steps were applied automatically by this one. Okay, I just simply remove this one. There are some confusion here. What I will do is I'll just simply use 2 files here. Instead of using 3 files, I'm going to use only 2 files. Okay, apr.csv, feb.csv, right? So what I do is, first let us start with a simple thing. Discord. There is some key related issues. I'm going to delete this also because we already addressed it. Delete group. I just select monthly sales and click on OK. Two files are there. Okay, I just transform data. I just click on this icon to combine these two files in one go. Okay, I just simply click on OK. We'll see how it combines, whether it combines correctly or not. We'll see. Yeah, it got combined successfully now. There are no issues. I just want to check the total number of records in these two files put together, February and March, both files data put together, how many number of records are there. To check that, I just clicked on the transform icon ribbon, and then I just click on the count rows. 3,343 records are there. Okay, 3343. I just note it down. 3343 for February and March. Now let us select this one. I can see only February here. Actually, two files data should have been loaded, but it shows only here. But you need to click on that one to view some more, right? March.csv. I just deselect everything. I just select March. March data. I just go to transform ribbon. I click on the count rows. 18, only 18 records are there for March month. For March, I have 18 records are there, and similarly we'll see the February month. I filter it. I filter only the Feb month, not the March month. Go to the transform ribbon, count rows, 3325. Yeah, February I have 3325. If you add these two things together, yes, it is matching with the total number of records. So both months records got loaded correctly. Fine. Now what I do is, fine, this is how you can combine. So in this case we have only two records were there, but in real time scenario, two files were there. If you have multiple files are there, right, 15 files or 20 files, what you just give the folder name. You don't have to load each and every file separately. That is one of the advantages of the folder connection. The next one is, what we will do is, we have another scenario. In scenario 2, this is simple scenario. The scenario 2 is, for example, every new month, when the data get pushed to this one, every month data. For example, February month, March month, every month end, for example, every month beginning. Let's say that way, okay? Every month, for example, March month beginning, the total February month sales data will get pushed to this folder, and April month first, every 1st April, the entire March month data will get pushed to this folder. So in this case, what we want to do is, our report should pick up the most recent month data, and then it should reflect the visuals based on the current month data. The visuals in my report should reflect the current month data only at any given point in time. So every month, this one we want to automate it. Okay, every month we want to see the most recent months related data only in the report. So how do we automate this one? That we will see it now. So with this one, I'm going to do one thing. Look here. So when I combine these two files, the February and March files, what happened, automatically it created bunch of steps here, right? So on the left side, if you see queries, it created bunch of queries here. This was created by Power BI itself. You have something called transform file, a function parameter as any, look here, transform sample file, right? These steps, right? So these are the queries, helper queries were created by Power Query editor itself. Okay, we did not do anything. Okay, fine. Now what we do is we just I'm going to rename this as something like instead of saying monthly sales, I give something like monthly sales for Feb and March. So now my query got renamed. So now what I do is I don't want to use the filtered the count. Fine. So I could see the combined data here, February and March month. The first column is the source dot name. From which source this data? So these data belongs to which source? So these are the data on the right side. Whatever the data is there, these data belongs to February month. And similarly, if you scroll down, March month related data, if you want to say it, right, you will find March month. Along with the data, it shows the corresponding month related or the file name, so that you can find out which month, which data belong to which month. Right? So if you don't need this, you can remove this column. Okay, I just leave it as it is. I am going to remove this. I am going to perform some kind of data transformation now. After combining this, I am going to remove this column because I don't need it. And next what I do is I just convert this a date data type. So before converting this, as we have seen it in the last session, we are going to convert these values into a consistent format. So hence all the delimiter should be in / still it is in text format. The values in these columns are month, date, year format, US date format. Hence I click on using locale. I just go ahead and select the data type as a date. The Indian date format is by default, so it shows here, right, the India date format, India's date month here, but the values what we have it in the order date column is in the US date format. So hence what I do is I just go ahead and specify it as a English United States. I removed one column and I converted this a date data type. Look here, this column become a date data type. So with this we can understand the calendar icon. Fine. This is enough. What I do is I just go ahead and close and apply this one. Next what I do is I just go to the data. I just go to the data folder. Yeah, so you have a question, right? 1 second, I'll just upload it. Vantai was asking this one. Okay, let me just. So here I'll just share it a little later. Okay, I'll just, because it is not there in my cookie, I don't remember the path. I'll just share it little later on the files, right? You want the files? Okay, I'll just share it little later. See, the scenario is, here is, I'll just write it here. The scenario is, so the scenario is automate the consolidation of monthly files. So every month when I push new month's data in a common folder, it should automatically pick up that and it should consolidate it. Okay. For example, I just go here. See here we combined two files. Okay. So what I do is I just click on the matrix visual. We need to validate whether the visuals are getting updated. If I add a new month data in that folder, the data in this visual should also get updated accordingly. For example, I have something called category. I have another column called sales here. Yeah, here we have something like 495k, right? So 495k, let it be there. Okay. So the automatic consolidation has been done. Automatic in the sense we combine them just by specifying the folder name. We did not load the files individually. Fine. So this is the one we did it. The next requirement is scenario 2 is automate the consolidation of, or not consolidation, automate the reports visuals to display recent month data. Okay, equal to display recent month data. This is what, okay, we need to do it. Okay, so what is the prerequisite for this? Scenario 1, prerequisites. The first prerequisite is both the all the files, column order should be same. For example, you have file 1, or for not file 1, let's say we'll use the meaningful name February month, March month. These two files we have, let's say 16 columns in it. Number of columns are same, should be same between, for these two files the number of columns should be same, and the order, column order should also be same. Column order should also be same. Here I have 16 columns. The same rule is applicable for all the files. If I have 16 columns there, here also I should have 16 columns here. So what I do is, okay, column order should also be same. Okay, and column order, and then the data type should also be same. So whatever the data, so okay, I have 16 columns in my February file. March also I have 16 columns. The column order also same in both the files. Okay, let's say here I have order ID, first column, and then second column is order date, and then let's say customer key, something like that. The same order should be followed here. The data type, okay, the order of the columns are same in both the files, but the data type should also be same. Supposing here you have string data type, you have date data type, then your records can get rejected. Okay, fine. So the data types, these are the prerequisites to address. So what is the solution now? This is the one we need to take care of that. And for example, you have a manager, business application manager. You need to tell him very clearly. You need to set the expectations very clearly. The file, whatever the monthly files you push it to my common folder should meet these requirements. Okay, don't give me different each month. You don't give me different order of the columns, right? The data type and the number of columns should match with each other. Okay, fine. Each month. Okay, fine. Supposing he gives February month 15 columns and here he gives 12 columns, then it will not be possible. Okay, it will fail. The job will fail. This is fine. We have an option folder connection with that. If you specify the folder name, it automatically picks each and every file. It combines. Okay. Scenario 2 is, this is a basic thing. Scenario 2 is, this is something like in Python, or those of you aware about Python, there is an append function. Here also append function is there in Power Query Editor. If you want to append more than one file, you can use append, or you have something called concat. Okay, this is a basic thing. The scenario 2 is, as per this one, it should meet the scenario 1's prerequisites. In addition to that, we need to make sure that whatever, though you keep pushing each month, multiple months data in a common folder, your report should have an intelligence to pick up the most recent month data, and then the visuals or the charts should reflect the current month data only, or the recent month data. That is what we need to do. So how do I do that? In order to do that, we need to follow some proper naming convention for your files. Okay, your naming, your file names supposed to be in year, month DD format. Okay, year, month, date, and then you can specify the month name also here. For example, February month and March month, something like that. What I do is, I just go to my data folder. I just see if I have anything here. February, March, April is there. But okay, before that, before we get into this one, okay, let us see if I push this file to this folder. Before we start getting into the second scenario, what I am going to do is, I am going to push one more file to my folder. What is my folder name? D:\data, monthly sales, right? Monthly sales is my folder name. This is my data folder. What I do is, I just simply, April data is not there. I just simply copy paste it here. Okay, not here, sorry. Monthly sales, here only February, March, both these data put together, my report shows this value. If I move the April, I think April has some kind of data issue there. Okay, and if I refresh this, let us see what happens. Because it has to connect to that folder, we don't have to worry about other files. We need to look at this one only, right? So office supplies 495 only we are getting it. 495,826. Earlier how much it was? One second, I just 49526. 4.9582, because that has very less number of records in it. April, I just remove this one and I just go ahead and refresh it. Don't worry, I will explain it one more time. First let us see if it is correctly reflecting it or not. It is not reflecting it correctly. It is not picking up correctly. 1 second, I just go to the transform data. if I select this one and refresh preview, only this one alone I wanted to refresh it. Fine. So next what I do is I go to the transform and I just do count rows. 3325, only 3325 is there. So okay, only February month data it shows. Okay, let me do one thing. I need to go somewhere here. Load more. When I give this one, it shows only February month. You know, since I removed it, the February is there, right? Yeah, February, March should show here. Somewhere some issue happened here. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just, in the interest of time, I just leave this. But I showed you earlier, right? So you are able to consolidate it. With that, you are able to get something. Anyhow, let me take a quick look here. February and March month. Okay, I just remove this 3325 and I'm going to change type with local and replace value and filtered rows. Okay, since I filtered it here, list may be incomplete. Okay, look here, I filtered it, isn't it? To test the number of records for each month, I applied the filter here. I did not clear the filter. That is the reason why it was not showing the correct thing here. However, it picked up that value there. So now that's the reason why you need to be very, very careful to test these two files number of records in Power BI query editor, and individually I tested the count. Look here, fine. So both February and March put together 497722. In real time scenario, you might tend to make this mistake. See, everything is correct. Okay, everything is correct. Only thing is to check the number of records in each month, February month separately, March month separately. What we did, we filtered the data for each month and we counted it, but we did not clear the filter. Understood? Any confusions? Anybody has any questions so far? Because I don't want to repeat multiple times. If you are able to understand, good. Because when you watch the video, fine, this is fine, right? The next what I do is I just try this one. I move it one more time here from March, February, March and April data is missing here. Oh my god, I deleted it here. What I do is instead of deleting it here, I deleted it here. Okay, we have simple thing. We have the February, March here, and I have February, March is here. What I do is I am going to delete this one. Look here, 4.97 is there. If I delete this, what is going to happen in my monthly sales? You just come here, and if I go and refresh it, when I do the refresh, what will happen is it has to go and read the file once again from that folder, monthly sales folder. Since my monthly sales folder has only one file there, it has to load that 1 month file only. Look here, 4.97, it got recorded. Now you understood, right? When we move a file from one file to another, one folder to another folder, or if I push, as and when I push every month files here, the reports also get refreshed. But you need to refresh it here. But this one, once you publish it on cloud, Power BI service, you can enable the scheduled refresh. Okay, in that time it will automatically takes care of it. The step one is the first requirement is as and when you move each month when you move the files in this folder, it should automatically pick up that. The transform Power Query Editor, it does that job perfectly. Especially the folder connector is very much helpful to meet this requirement. The next one is, the same prerequisites is applicable for scenario 2 also. But what we do is we are going to make some changes to the file name. Okay, we are going to follow this naming convention for the file name. I just go to my data here and I just simply copy paste the March month data here, February, March, and we will just so in this case F comes first and in the alphabetic F comes. Okay, if I put April, what will happen? Let me do one thing. I just go to another folder and I have some other folder here, and let me just, so look here, I'm going to have some, it's already, the formatting has been done correctly. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use some other folder, okay, some meaningful folder. We'll try with another folder. Let's not disturb this one. Monthly revenue, something like that. In this folder, I just, in the interest of time, I copy paste this. So all these files have the same data in it. But here I'm going to, for the time being, okay, let it be there. So what I do is, let's say your manager has given you 3 months file. The file naming convention was not in this format. You converted it with the proper format. How? It should be like YYY. This one is month and date. Okay, year, month, date, and then you can specify the name, month name here. Okay, now what I do is I'm going to import this separately. File, okay, I just select this one, folder connection. Now I'm going to select that folder, connect. Monthly revenue, right? So this is the one, the newly created folder. Whatever file you push it every month or every new files, when it arrives to this folder, your visual should pick up the value from that automatically. But in the second, as per the second scenario, it should take into account of the recent month data only. It should pick up only the recent month data. How do you do that? Look here, we can see all these 3 files, February, March, April. Fine. What I do is I just go to the transform data. Here what I do is the same thing, all the 3 files, right? These 3 files are available in this folder. I just go here in the name. I just go and select this one. So I'm going to sort it in ascending order. Look here, April, March. If you go from bottom to February, March, April, right? This is in. If you don't give the follow this naming convention, what will happen? Since A comes first, it will go here, and F comes next A. So February will appear here, right? So that's the reason why you need to follow this format, file naming format. Okay, the naming convention. You need to follow this naming convention. Fine, I'm done with this. Next, what I do is I just go here and we have something like keep rows, keep top rows. You need to select this one. Step 1, folder connector. You need to use it. Step 2, transform, and the number of rows. The number of rows I am going to give 1. Keep top rows. 1 second, you will see top rows. Okay, fine. I am done with this. Next, what I do is I just load this. If somebody is asking you to generate last 6 months or whatever the 6 months data, 6 months data you need to push it a folder, simply import it, and you can use combine. When you click on this, 6 month data will get combined together. It will get merged. It will get appended. Append is the correct word, yes. Look here. Okay, April month got loaded. Fine. Now what I do is I just go ahead and apply this one. Whatever the steps use there, that one will get applied automatically. Monthly revenue. The query name is monthly revenue. What are the steps we carried out in the Power Query? It got applied. Fine. So now I am going to create another visual, another matrix visual. Now we have 3 months data, but the top one is April month. The recent one is April month. I just pick up this one. And what I do is I just drag and drop this one here. 495, right? So this one shows correctly. I refresh it. Monthly revenue. This one supposed to be from monthly revenue, right? 3 rows loaded, 3 errors. Let it be there. I just select category and sales. Category sales came from where? Monthly sales, February, March. No, not this one, right? This one was supposed to be from monthly revenue. Category and sales. This shows only the current month, recent month. Once again I refresh it. So let it be there. Okay, the error is there. It's not only 3 errors, but anyhow data got loaded. It is not rejecting it. Fine. This is my. So now what I do is I just delete this file from the monthly revenue folder. So of these 2 files, which one is the recent file? March. So if I go and refresh it now, it should pick up the recent file out of these 2. Of these 2, March is the recent file. This is 61,558. Look here, 3,343. Look here, the value got updated. To validate whether this visual is picking up from this March month file only, what we do is we will go to the transform data, query editor. Select that appropriate month or query, the relevant month. The relevant query is monthly revenue. Here what I do is I directly click on the kept first rows. When I click on this, it shows April.csv, but we removed it. What you need to do is you just click on refresh the preview here. Look here, after refreshing it, refresh preview, it shows correctly. So my report correctly picked up March month data automatically. When I removed the April month file here, we are left with only these 2 months files. Of these 2 months, this is the latest one. It automatically picks up the data from the recent file only. Whatever the steps that you applied, this can be reused for all the files. Supposing you removed a column and you have changed the data type, date data type, right? So whatever the steps or whatever the pre-processing steps that you carried out, that one will get applied to every month's data or every file, every new file. Whenever you push any new file or every month file, that file, on that file, it will apply these transformations or pre-processing related transformation, or these steps will get applied automatically. It is fantastic feature that is available. You can leverage with the folder connector. Okay, so now we are able to, we are able to solve this requirement also. This is one of the requirements. Okay, this is a straightforward one, and this is the one is the little bit tricky one, but this is the one they expect from us. Okay, the scenario based thing. Okay, more than this, right? For example, the assignment for you is, what you do is you can have more than one sheet in a file. Okay, and you see what happens. Okay, so let's January, February, March, and April, May, June, right? So try to come up with if you have if they combine in a single file, it's right, multiple sheets. In that case, you need to do it. Yeah, you have some questions. Somebody has some questions. Yes. Where can I get the file? Okay, not you, right? So somebody, 1 second, I'll unmute it. Yes, you can ask me the question now. Radha, you have question? Yes.
Sir, we deleted April month, and the recent was it's March, right? We did some transformation in the February month. That necessity is there in that February month data, but that same necessity will not be there in March. But it's applicable, right? Once we take recent March data, it's whatever the transformations we did in February, same transformations applicable for March also, right?
Correct.
But that necessity will not be there, means how?
No. The point is,
Okay.
Once you follow this naming convention, and
Okay.
once you enable the kept rows first, right?
Okay.
So you are okay. I understood your point. See, these transformations, whether it's a February month or March month file, right? So whatever month may be, but when you use new file, the same transformation will get applied, right? What is so big deal about that? That is what your question, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So so when I showed you the previous one, right? The previous monthly sales query, right? In that query, when we specified the file name as January, February, and when we push it there, it is picking up, it blindly appending the value.
Okay.
Right? It combines all the 3 months data together. See, you don't need to follow the naming convention there also. Simply, I want to put 3 files in a folder. The naming convention can be anything. All the values in those 3 files will get combined together. And for us, it appears as a monthly revenue. Single query itself, you can see the 3 months data in it. Okay, but I don't want to pick up all the 3 months. Every month, whenever I push new files in a specific folder, for that file alone, it should apply the same thing. How do you set this one? So for that only, we just use keep rows, and the keep top rows, we have mentioned this one, right? So whatever transformations we used it for the previous month, right? The same thing is also applicable for the new file automatically, right? This is the one is happening automatically, right? But if you don't follow the naming convention properly, what will happen is it will simply combine, and for example, what will happen is it will not pick up the recent month data automatically, right? right?
Okay.
So we see two things. One is merge all the files. That is we wanted to display the recent. We need to display the visual. That should see the visual should display the recent month data in it. That's all. Okay, automatically it should happen. That is what we are able to achieve with this. But whatever the transformation, for example, in the past month you converted the date data type, text data type as a date data type, right? The same thing will get applied to this one also. Though you pick up the recent file only, but still the previous month transformations, whatever we applied, the same thing will be reused here.
Okay.
Okay, that is the one thing. That is the beauty of this one. Okay, picking up the recent file and then apply this one. That's all. Okay, but again, I know as per this some meaningful name. If you give what I would suggest you test this with some other logic. Okay, instead of using the US date format, try with something else. Okay, and then in your data file, you take the data file,
Okay.
create a new file. Okay, in that file what you do is you change the format of the date column. Okay, and the Indian date format or some Australian date format. Okay, and then you try to load it. Okay, since we have already used, we had set right the locale as US date format, right? Whether it is applying it to this one also or not. Okay, right? So it will apply, right? It will work. Different data type, but only thing is you change the order of the columns. Try all kind of write some test cases with different scenarios. Okay, different right. So one is change the order of the column. First column in this file is order date, and second column is the order ID or order ID order date, and you change the order here. It should, you check whether it is failing it or not. Okay, that is one scenario you test it. Okay, but the prerequisite is this, and if you follow this, it should work. To validate the whatever I said, right, is correct or not, you just test it out. That is the assignment. Okay.
Okay.
But here, to picking up the recent month, right, it is not possible simply if you specify February, March, April, isn't it? That naming convention will not be helpful to pick up the recent month. Right? So the formatting is very much important. Okay, this is the one of the thing we need to follow it strictly. Now what I do is I just move the I'm going to move the April one more time here to test it whether it is doing it correctly or not. The monthly revenue, I just copy paste this one and I just go to my visual here, canvas. Okay, report canvas. I refresh it one more time. We'll see after pushing the April month data. Okay, see, it will pick up only the April month, right? It is not doing the consolidation here. It shows some error. Okay. Look at the value got changed automatically, right? 61. This is my the April month, right? It's April month sales. It picked up automatically. See, that's what, when you push the file, new files, whenever you push the new files to a folder, as per this scenario one, it will pick up and it will consolidate, it will combine all the files, whatever the number of files that are there in the folder, it will be combined. Here it will pick up the recent file, that's all, recent month data. In order to make this to happen, you need to have this format. You understood or not? I just show you here. Look here, this is when you sort it in descending order, what happens here, right? So yeah, in this case, one second, I just go here because refresh preview. See, we have three files, right? As per the alphabet, A should come first, right?
Correct.
And the next one is F and then M, right? So if you strict, if you don't follow this naming convention, A will come first and M will F will come next, right? And the more will come later. So, but if you follow this naming convention, what will happen is, look here, if I go and sort descending. April, this is correct. As per the alphabet, A only will come first. But instead of the March, F will come here. You just ignore this one. Let's say you don't have this one, okay? So if you sort, APR, April, March, April, February, right? Alphabet. So if you sort it in descending order or ascending order. First of all, let's if you sort it in ascending order, what will happen? April, February, March. Does that mean February, comes after April? No, right? Sorry, February. Yeah, so after April, February will come if you don't follow this naming convention, right? So since you are using this one, what happens? This 2021 is common, and of these three values, 4 is bigger than this one, right? So hence it picks up this one as the recent one. When the descending order, when you do it in the descending order, this is the one appears first, and this one comes second because the 3 is more than this one, hence it does the sort. That's the trick, okay? But again, you need to go and keep rows 1. In that case, when you use keep rows 1, what will happen is you want to pick up the the recent month and you show it. Monthly report, every month you want to generate the report, right? So you can do it that way.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, suppose ఇప్పుడు జూన్ ది మనము మంత్లీ రెవెన్యూలో యాడ్ చేసాం అనుకోండి, యాడ్ చేసాము. నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేయాలంటే మళ్ళీ రిపోర్ట్ క్వైరీలోకి వచ్చేసి మనము నేమింగ్ కన్వెన్షన్ ఒక ఆర్డర్ లో పెట్టుకోవాలి మనము.
కరెక్ట్. సేమ్ వెదర్ ఇట్ ఇస్ జూన్ ఆర్ జూలై,
ఆర్డర్ లో పెట్టుకున్న తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ కీ ప్రోస్ అంటే మనకు రీసెంట్ గా ఏది యాడ్ అయిందో దాన్ని మాత్రం సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటే కీ ప్రోస్ లో మనకు కావాల్సిన దాన్ని మనం ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఇది టాప్ లోనే ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి అది సెలెక్ట్ అవుతుంది.
కరెక్ట్.
అప్పుడు సేమ్ రిఫ్లెక్షన్స్ ఆటోమేటిక్ గా మన చార్ట్ లో కూడా రిఫ్లెక్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. రీసెంట్ గా ఏదైతే యాడ్ అయిందో దాని రిలేటెడ్ డేటా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కూడా ఆటోమేటిక్ గా వచ్చేస్తుంది. అదే కదా మీరు చెప్పేది?
కరెక్ట్. See, try something like your data file, the format, everything, naming convention, everything is same. But put some in the case of sales column, let's when you first time, it's something like teaching the Power BI. For the last 2 months, these are the transformations we applied it. We did this kind of data pre-processing steps, we applied it. If anything else, right, or if the same kind of, let's the next month also we get the date column data type as a string data type, and if it is in the US date format, so whatever transformation you applied, the same thing will be applicable. For example, in the first time when we did the pre-processing, the sales column, it is assumed that quantity column or the sales column, it came up with proper format. You understood, right? See, sales column, we have dollar, right? Dollar in it. Hence, Power BI detected that column mistakenly as a text data type, though it was actually a number data type, right? Numeric data type. Let us do it this way. Let's your data first 2 months, it came out correctly for the sales column. Numeric value only. Right, you did not apply any transfer, but in the 3rd month, April month, in the sales column, some dollar value comes. In that case, we did not use any steps to address that issue. In that case, how will you address it? Come up with a solution.
అప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఏదైతే చెప్పారు కదా డాలర్ అనేది దేనికి వచ్చిందో ఆ మంత్ డేటాను మాత్రమే సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని ఫస్ట్ అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్.
No, madam, you are doing it manually, right? So once you train, right? So it's kind of machine learning, right? Machine learning algorithm. Once you train your Power BI, hey, if any new file comes, apply this steps to do the data pre-processing. Okay. But unfortunately, the next month data you are getting text data type for the sales column. In that case, we cannot generalize with this, right? How will you deal with that? Come up with a solution for that. Let me see how many of you can give me answer for that. I'll share this file to you all, okay? And Vantai, including the data file also, I'll share it. And I'm not going to make any changes to this. You just, with this first understand and create, the new file, create a new report file. Use this data file, okay? Fine. So this is the one thing. The next one is what we will do is, okay, I'll just explain you what else we can do with this one, okay? Okay, currently we are in the Power Query Editor. Now what we will do is, I'm going to just minimize this one. Now you learned the folder connector, okay? So the benefit of folder connector, right? So what is the advantage of folder connector? The advantage is you don't have to load each and every month files if you want to do consolidation for more than one file, okay? So it automatically picks up, but the thing is you need to meet those prerequisites, right? Only when the files that are stored in a folder should meet these requirements. Number of columns should match all the columns, all the files, number of columns should be same, and then the column order should also be same. And then supposing next month the column order got changed, or if they included new column, that is another scenario, you test it, right? So when you give that, will it work out, what error you are getting it, right? So those are the scenarios wherein most of the time the job can fail it, okay? If you know well ahead all these scenarios, it will be good. By keeping in those scenarios, right, you can proactively train or you can apply these steps accordingly. But the question is, when I got my first month data, sales column was a numeric data type, okay? In that case, whatever the transformation that I do it, based on the current state of the file only I can do it, isn't it? So what should I do? How can I address that? Fine. The next one is, what I do is I just go ahead and okay, here I remove that file. Okay, that query is not available. Okay, let me expand this one. Other queries, yes. Here I have a file called expenses. In this expenses table, we have 3 columns. Okay, I need to do some kind of pivoting. What is pivoting? Convert the rows into columns. But I don't want to convert the entire rows into columns, okay? I want to convert the values in the year column as columns. Convert these rows into columns. Year columns, rows, I want to convert the columns. Rows to columns. If you want to convert it, what we can do is we can use something called pivot column, okay? So if I click on this, first you need to select this column, whichever column that you want to pivoting, select that column, and then the next step is select the value. So this is the numeric value, okay? I just click on OK here. Look here, in the year column, we have the rows like 2021, 2022, right? So all the years became columns now. To convert the rows into columns, we can use pivot. This is a common pivoting, we do it in Excel, right? The same thing is applicable here. Supposing you want to get back to the previous thing, or you want to unpivot. I want to get back to my previous state without undoing this one. How do I do that? This is pivoting. Unpivoting. Unpivoting is convert the columns into rows. What I do is I select all these 3 columns. I just click on unpivot. That's all. Look here, 2021 became rows here. Okay, here you just simply go ahead and say, this is my year, these are my expenses. Okay, suppose you wanted to, let's say, I'm going to undo this one. I'll go back to my previous state. Now I want to pivoting on month. So 1, 2, 3 is there here in rows. I want 1, 2, each month should get converted as a column. In that case, I click on the pivot column and I just select expenses here, click on OK. The year remain constant because you did the pivoting on the month column, right? So all the values in your month column got transformed as a columns, the rows into columns, okay, except year, the month, right, got pivoted now. So if you want to do unpivot, I want to get back to the previous, I don't want I want to convert all these columns into rows. You select all these columns and then click on unpivot. Now you need to rename it. So this is my month and this is my expenses. Very simple one, okay? The pivot and unpivot, you can do it with this. And also, for example, if I wanted to duplicate this one query, right, I can use duplicate. And also what I do is I have another option called reference. Now I go to expense query. So we have an option called here, go to view query dependencies. Now if you click on this, same expenses query, I duplicated it more than once. It shows everything here. Okay, I don't need to see everything here. I want to see the depend. Look here, we are interested in this one, the expenses query. So for this, what is the source here? So this is the folder. I kept this expenses.csv file. So this is the source, and for this, right, this query is depending on this file, right, loaded. And what is the expenses 3? Expenses 3 I created as a references, right? So hence this expenses 3 query depends on the expenses query here, right? This query is depending on this query, and this query expense, since I click, I duplicated this one, it is depending directly on this one. It is depending directly on this one, right? So with query dependence, you can see tomorrow I will show you the merge queries, how to merge the queries with the different options, left join, right join, all these things we will see tomorrow. So that time, right, so we can see sometimes what will happen is, you will have to, you cannot make changes to this one directly, right? So for example, here I did pivoting. I want, I do the pivoting here. I just go here. See, this query is meant for pivoting. This query is meant for unpivoting. Okay. My manager want two different types of report. What I do is, one is unpivot and pivot. If I have it separately, it will be easier for me to drag and drop it in my report canvas visual. Okay. I want to keep this ready. Okay, in this case it's all very 2 columns or 3 columns, right? If you have more columns, right, suppose you have state or country, one more column is there, right? In that case you need to have 2 different things. Okay, I don't see, the idea is I want to see the original data as it is. I don't want to make any changes here. I don't want to apply any transformation here. Instead, what I duplicate it here, or this is my reference, right? This is my reference, this is the duplicated one. So here what I do is I just go and apply pivot. The year got pivoted, right? The rows became columns here. Okay, this you can give some meaningful name. You rename it as pivoting. Fine. Now I go and check this one. I just click on this one. Okay, this one remains as it is, and here pivot by year. You have a separate thing here. Another query, right? Though it is a copy of this one and reference of this one. So now let us do one thing. Now I just go and do some kind of pivoting. This is for year. I just want to do it on month. This is another example. Pivot by month. You can rename it here also. There is a spelling mistake here. Pivot by year. We are done with this. Okay. Pivot by year, pivot by month. Right? So you have two different queries, but each query has different format in it. Right? So, but here this query is not disturbed. Right? So to compare, or if you want to do some unpivoting, or we have different options are also available. You can do some kind of transpose, or you can do reverse rows also. Okay. For example, if I select all the columns, all these, if I do reverse rows, it reversed all the rows. Okay, here column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. 1 second, sorry. Here I selected all the columns, right? Yes. Okay, I'll just select one more time. Look here, I mistakenly hit this one. So now reverse rows. Look here, all the values in these three columns got reversed, right? 20, 22, 9. And if I click on one more time, the kind of ascending order, right? So kind of, if you want to reverse all the rows, last rows should be first one, and last but not the one should be the second one. Likewise, if you want to do it, then you can go for reverse rows. Transpose is different. Okay, transpose we will see it little later. But before, likewise, right? If you want to reverse rows and you want to rename it as reverse rows, right? So that you have three different queries. But here, to understand one thing here very clearly, so what I do is I just go and change we have 3 years, 20, 21, 22. And what I do is I'm going to change all the 2020 as 2019. So what I do is I just replace the values of this one 2019. Now I made changes to this query's year column value, and now if I go and check it in this one, what is going to happen? See, 2019. Whatever the change I made it, it is reflecting it here. The same thing we'll go and check it here. Here 2019 was not found. Why? It is a duplicate. We just it's a second copy of this one. To put it in simple terms, this is second copy of this one. Hence, it is nowhere. Whatever the changes you do it will not get reflected, because these two are independent. But whereas this one is depending on this one, because you just right clicked it and you created with reference, right? So this is just a pointer to this one. Just think that way, okay? But the view is different here. The view is different, but the data is same as this one. Whatever the changes that you do it here, that one will get reflected here. Okay. So now we understood, what is duplicate and the difference of duplicate and reference. These are the things, basic things you need to understand, because in real time scenario when we work on it, we'll be creating multiple ones. Sometimes you might make changes here and you will be under the impression, right, this one also got changed. It will not get changed. Okay, but the referenced query will get reflected. Okay, you might be using the same queries you might be creating in more than one time, and sometimes you may have to take a second copy of this, and both of them are independent. But since you have more copies of expenses and some of them are references, some of them are duplicate, in that case you will get confused. You need to remember this. So now what I do is I just go to file and close and apply. I will share this report file along with those 3 months data. What you do is you change the data type of a column, right, which for any one of the columns, right, for which we did not do any data pre-processing, right, for that specific column or any column you change it. The same thing, whatever I told, the sales column. Okay, you try it out and see what happens. Fine. Now what we do is you look here. You can see the pivot by month here, and you are seeing pivot by year. And if you wanted to have something, right, simply you can drag and drop it. So already your pivot is ready. But when it comes to matrix, you don't have to do pivoting here. Matrix itself does the visual itself does the pivoting. It has lot of features in it. Okay, I just convert this a table. I want to change the order. First month. Okay, for each year, month wise you can see it here, and if you want to sort it out, you can sort it out. Look here, if you just select it here, anyhow we'll discuss this. For example, I just want to sort it by month. It is in descending order, and what I do is I just select this one, sort ascending. So 1 2 3 4 9 month, you can see it like this. Okay, so we created a pivot query as part of Power Query Editor. Simply you need to drag and drop it, that's all, to your visual. Okay, and the same data, but we did the pivoting on the month. Okay, so you can do it. But this is the painful thing, right? So in this case, 9 month, you need to select everything and you need to drag and drop it. But when it comes to matrix, it automatically does the pivoting. Anyhow, as part of data visualization, I will explain you. Okay, this has a lot of features in it. Okay, so it's already 7 p.m. I'm going to wrap up now, and what I'll do is I'll share these files. You guys practice it. If you have any questions, you come back with me tomorrow. Okay.
Sir, files nunchi data ni ela download chesukovali adi okasari చూపించండి sir.
File from Power BI, how to import the data, right?
Yes.
Okay, for example, you just select this one. Okay, and then the only way is, this is how you can do it. So you can export data. Click on this, it will export data and save it in a file. Okay, so data.csv, if you save it, we already exist. Some name you can give it. So for example, this is pivot by month. It's a meaningful name. Okay, you can give whatever name you wanted. So this data will get stored there. This is how you can export the data. Okay.
అది కాదు సార్, టేబుల్ ఇందాక చెప్పారు కదా, ఐ విల్ షేర్ యూ ద రిపోర్ట్స్, యూ డూ ప్రాక్టీస్ అని, అదే మంత్ ఏప్రిల్ మార్చి ఫిబ్రవరి, ఆ డేటా ఎలా డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలి?
This one, huh?
Yes.
This one I'll put it in github.com. Okay, I'll share the link, you can download it. Okay, or else I will send it to your WhatsApp number itself, okay? But that is not a good way of doing it. But the best thing is,
అది ఇందాక చెప్పారు హౌ టు అది గిట్ యాప్ సంథింగ్ ఏదో చెప్పి అది ఎలా డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలి
I'll explain you later, okay? So that's a very simple thing. I'll share the link, and I'll you can go and directly you just type the link. It'll down you should be able to see these files, okay? And you should be able to download it, okay? I'll explain it later, okay? I'll do it after.
ఫైన్
Yeah, fine.
ఫైన్
Thing is, it is not displaying it here. The link I forgot it. Otherwise, I can show you now itself. But anyhow, I will share the link one more time to you all. Okay, and also I will send these files also, right, to your WhatsApp itself. So what you do is you can connect WhatsApp from your laptop. What I will do is from next weekend onwards, I will keep everything in my website properly. You can go on it because some people are on leave. I don't know how to upload it there. So with their help, we'll upload it. Going forward, you can download it from a website. Okay?
ఫైన్
Fine. Any questions so far? You just watch my video one more time, okay, and try all these things. Any questions, you come back with me, alright? Since you don't have any more questions, I'm going to wrap up the session now.